Get up on your feet. That is New Jersey Devils hockey.
And how about those Devils? How about those Devils?
What was that?
How about those Devils? How about those Devils?
How about those Devils? Welcome back, Devils fans. It is your host, Ace, here on Running with the Devils, where we are talking New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please hit that subscribe button, smash the like, share with a friend. Thank you very much. And the New Jersey Devils licked their wounds after an absolute throttling by the Winnipeg Jets last night by a disappointing score of 4-0. Got on that jet plane and took a flight to Minnesota to take on the Wild. Desperately needing points. The race is heating up. Overwhelmingly, odds are saying the Devils are in the playoffs, but no one feels comfortable about it. Team has been going through a huge rough patch, looking to get 2 points and one step closer to clinching a playoff berth. And wow, guys, I'm just spent so much energy throughout the game. And your New Jersey Devils go into Minnesota and defeat the Wild by a score of 5-2. I must ask, I must know.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? I'm trying to calm myself. It's one game, but one game at a time, a huge step in the right direction. Your New Jersey Devils gutting it out. This was a playoff war. This was heavier, edgier, more violent. This was everything. On the road in a record crowd at the Xcel Energy Center for the Minnesota Wild, and this was a crazy one. And your New Jersey Devils prevailed, obviously taking care of business at the top here. Win or lose, we booze, and you all know victory vodka, baby, tastes so much better than loser beverages. I'm going to do, this one goes out to Capitan. This is for NICO. Victory vodka in my veins. Inject it into my veins. I've been drinking tons of loser beverages over the past couple weeks. It's about time we get some more victory vodka. Yeah, we had some after the Blackhawks game. It didn't feel as good tonight. This is going to be delicious. This is going to be absolutely delicious. Victory vodka after a hard-fought playoff road win. Cheers to all my Devils fans. Wow. Whew. Whew. What a game. What an absolute game. But, you know, I gotta run it back one more time.
And how about those Devils? How about those Devils?
How about those Devils, kids? How about those Devils? And I hate to say it, all the people that don't believe in physicality in hockey, you're just confused. You're either misinformed, confused, whatever it is, you're out in outer space lost, guys, because you saw when this team is engaged, physically, emotionally, some fisticuffs, some scrums, this team responds in a different way, and it's undeniable. And for all of you that are still in doubt about it, look no further than a game like tonight. But cheers to all of you. Thanks for coming out. What a win for this club. And we get to the game. We get to the beautiful game. This is going to be one of my favorite games of the season for sure. This one, we did the reverse Jets. Last night, the game was over before it started. Although we didn't end it before it started, we wasted no time. 29 seconds in, the Wild turn it over deep in their O-zone. Nason picks up the puck, does a nice little spinorama move. He sees Bratter on the other wing, fires a pass to Bratter. Bratter comes flying up the ice, sizzling through. Let's go, a nice wrister on net. Big, juicy rebound from Gustafsson. The rebound comes right to NICO, and he bangs it in.
He's pretty, and he lives in Jersey City, number 13, NICO HISCHIER.
NICO HISCHIER, my captain, at 29 seconds, getting his 31st of the season from Jesperbratt and Stefan Nason, gives your New Jersey Devils a 1-0 lead. And I was like, all right, let's go. Not only do we have a lead, we jumped on them early. All the things you want to see in a game after a game you get destroyed in, which was last night. You want to see a quick start, see the team snap out of it. A lot of people were kind of doubting what we'd see tonight, including myself. To be honest, this team has been consistently inconsistent all season long. We never know what version of this team we're going to get. This team came out flying. NICO gets a goal at 29 seconds, gives the Devils the 1-0 lead. And then at 5:46, Devils in transition. Dumoulin rips a nice wrister on goal. Another big rebound from Gustafsson. Comes out to the side to Cotter. He fires it right on net and through Gustafsson.
Paulie. Yo, Paulie. Hey, yo, Paulie.
Hey, yo, Paulie. My man, Paul Cotter. At 5:46, gets his 16th of the season from Dumoulin and Nolan Foote, giving your New Jersey Devils a 2-0 lead. And at this juncture, I was getting a little excited. I was like, all right, come on. Let's just, I was fired up. 2-0 leads quick against a good team on the road, especially after what we saw last night. I was probably getting ahead of myself. I wanted to see a stomping, but I knew it wouldn't be easy. Later on in the period at 16:31, Spurgeon takes a shot from the point and Foligno tips it in front, cutting the Devils' lead to 2-1. And I was furious. A lot of you, I was in the chat in and out. Your guys' feeds are way ahead of mine. And so typically I'm not in the chat as much because you guys ruin it and you're like, goal for, goal against. I end up seeing it in the chat way before it happens. But I was in and out, and a lot of us were furious. We have to lead the league in these types of goals against. Slap shots, wrist shots, whatever it is from the point, traffic in front, tips, deflections in front. I mean, hopefully the Devils start utilizing this type of, tactic. It's very effective in the NHL, especially because guys in front, they could just park in front of the goalie. Back in the good old days, the glory days of the NHL, like some of you longtime fans have seen like me, you were allowed to, Kenny Danico would be two-hand cross-checking dudes in the back, slashing the back of their calves, whacking away. If they were parked in front of the crease, it was a murder zone. You could get away with actual murder. Now, if you breathe on a guy, you're going to get called. So guys have just made it a routine to just park in front of the net. No one's going to do shit to you. Stand in front of the goalie, screen him, and let your defenseman or whoever it is rip shots towards net from the point and get a stick on it and try to get a deflection. The Devils have given up a million of these goals this season. I would like to see guys try to clear them out maybe without taking a penalty. I think you could get away with like a little shove. Do something. We're letting guys take up residency in front of our goaltender. It is annoying. We've given up a million of these this season, like I said, but Wild cut it to 2-1. That is how the first period ends. And what a period it was. Happy to leave the period. The Devils started to get a little lackadaisical towards the end of the period. Was glad to leave the ice surface with the 1-goal lead. Devils with 10 shots on net in the first period and the Minnesota Wild with 7. We head to the second, and the second had some interesting moments, some chances back and forth. Jacob Markstrom, tip of the cap to Markey. I would say probably his strongest game in quite some time. Definitely his strongest game since coming back from injury, I would say for sure. Markey made some crazy saves. He was engaged all night. He was sticking guys. There was a lot of rough stuff around the crease, and Markey wasn't back down from anyone. Absolutely love Markey, fiery competitor. We all know he wants to win more than anything. And anytime someone was in his kitchen, he was, throwing little shots and getting in the mix. Love to see that from your goaltender. But second period, some chances exchanged back and forth. And then obviously the event of the second period was we got ding, ding, ding. We saw our first fisticuffs in a couple weeks. The last one we saw was Brendan Dillon against the Utah Hockey Club. Foligno was kind of running around all game. I think he chirped somebody earlier. I forget who it was. But in the end, my man Johnny Kovacevic, the freshly extended Johnny Kovacevic, says, I've seen enough. It's time to activate the heavier, edgier, more violent switch. Johnny Kovacevic, my God, what a name, right? Flips the switch, drops the mitts. They square up. And it was a wild one because you don't really see too many in the beginning where, there was like the standoff, but then there was like a couple wild swings from Foligno where like Kovacevic kind of dipped them. I think there was at least 2 maybe before they actually kind of engaged. Great defensive work there in the fisticuffs department by Johnny Kovacevic. He didn't get tagged with anything, and he sidesteps one and then he lands one. I'm not going to call it the greatest fight ever, but he clearly landed the only punch of the fight, got the takedown. That is a solid dub for Johnny Kovacevic. The crowd goes wild. I'm sure the boys are fired up. And again, for those of you that don't think physicality and heavier, edgier, more violent does not matter, tonight was a Picasso painting of why I talk about this shit so much and why I believe in it so much. I've been watching this beautiful game for 30 years, and I have seen games, momentum swings like you wouldn't believe off of a big hit, a series of big hits, or just a good old-fashioned slobber knocker fight. And tonight we saw a little bit of everything. We saw the scrums, we saw the shoving, we saw everything. Guys getting each other, face washes, a little bit of everything. But this team seems to play much better when they are emotionally invested, and no way to get your boys more emotionally invested than a good old-fashioned fight. Would love to see more of it. Heavier, edgier, more violent. That is why I freaked out when Fitzy said that last year, because it is an ingredient that's been missing, and hopefully it starts to come back a little bit more, because we got away from it in this new year. And I do believe our poor record is a direct result, or at least partially a direct result, of shying away from it. You got to play tough. You got to play tough. This is the National. But great fight by Johnny. He gets the dub for sure. Big win for him. And the one thing I want to talk about here is the bullshit that happens. And I think this is a big, we've talked about this before. A lot of you have been with me for a while. I do believe a big part of the reason that I think Keefe has emphasized to cut down on the fighting is because for some reason, so many times when we get in fights, we somehow get tagged with an extra minor and then end up killing off a penalty. And so obviously Kovacevic and Felina both get hit 5-minute majors for fighting. And then Kovacevic gets an unsportsmanlike conduct. Chris Rooney, obviously, if you all know Chris Rooney, the referee that's had it out for the Devils for years. There's tons of incidents going back to the 2012 Stanley Cup Finals, Game 6. He called a major boarding on Bernier. That was complete bullshit. It cost the Devils the game and the series. Devils were looking to claw back and force a Game 7 back at the Rock in that beautiful 2012 Cup Final run. Who knows what, if the Devils made it back home, I do believe they would have won. But Bernier gets hit with that. That's Chris Rooney. The Toronto game where 3 goals were disallowed and, all the chicken tenders came flying on the ice. That's Chris Rooney. So this guy's a complete piece of shit. He's had it out for the Devils forever. He shouldn't even be allowed to referee Devils games. There should be an investigation into this guy. He's a criminal. But, yeah, he finds a way to give Kovacevic an unsportsmanlike. So we end up shorthanded after a fight. It should have just been 5 minutes each. You go to the box. That's it. And I do believe this has a lot to do with the hesitancy or reluctance for the Devils to fight. And I think Keefe is probably like, just don't fight because we end up shorthanded so often. It's super annoying. I think it's happened to Dylan either once or twice, and it may have happened once before. I have to go back and check. But complete bullshit there by the referees, but it is what it is. They luckily kill off the penalty. Huge fight, and I think that goes a long way with the boys. I'm sure the bench was fired up. Devils up 2-1 after 2. We head to the third, looking to close it out. A lot of people obviously nervous. We've seen plenty of meltdowns. A lot of you in the chat were like, how are we going to blow it? And I was just hoping we would continue with the playoff warfare hockey that we were playing and to grind out a gutsy win on the road. And at 3:13, NICO takes the puck away from a Wild player in the D zone. I forget who it was. And he just takes it away in the D zone, circles around, and he comes flying up the ice, cuts through the neutral zone into the O zone. There's 3 Wild defenders kind of mesmerized. NICO's mesmerizing him with this. He's kind of skating off pace a little bit. Threw on a couple moves. The 3 Wild defenders were frozen, and he rips a beautiful wrister off the post and in.
He's pretty, and he lives in Jersey City, number 13, NICO HISCHIER.
NICO HISCHIER at 3:13, his 32nd of the season, unassisted, giving your New Jersey Devils a 3-1 lead. And at this point, now I'm fired up. I get fired up when I'm home. I'm yelling, I'm screaming, I'm yelling, NICO HISCHIER. Wow. What a play by NICO. Just nearly coast to coast, just mesmerizing the defenders and just rips a shot off the post and in. Devils up 3-1. The good times were short-lived, though, because as you all know, New Jersey Devils and their fans can't have nice things for too long. Everything's got to be a struggle. Everything's got to be a grind. A couple minutes later, Wild have a shot from the point. It goes off the post and just drops straight down, which is kind of crazy, like right towards the goal line. Markey dives quickly down, gets his stick on the goal line, and he's in position to make the save, but the Wild crashed the crease and jam it in. There's nothing he could do. He was just kind of naked out there, but he did get his stick down, and the initial shot had no chance of going in. Great play by Markey, but he had to either cover it or someone had to get it the hell out of there much quicker. The Wild converge. They pounce on that loose puck, buried in the back of the net. Hartman gets his 11th at 5:22, cutting the Devils' lead to 3-2. And at this point, I vomited in my mouth a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. I had a little one of those because I'm like, here we go again. Like, we have a 2-goal lead in the third period. We fought so hard, and we give it right back. And I was a little discouraged, but I was like, just get back to it. Obviously, one of the things with this Devils club is they give give up goals in succession quick against. And I was just like, get your head in the game. Do not give up an immediate goal and just continue to play hard and just keep grinding these guys because we were grinding them real good. Felt good about the game. Devils with the 3-2 lead. Playoff warfare, third period, obviously. And then late in the period, this glorious sequence, Devils were whipping it around on the power play. Great puck movement. Luke Hughes rips a shot towards goal from the slot wide. Rips it wide. It hits the glass and kind of ricochets off the glass and comes right towards NICO. NICO puts his glove out, grabs the puck, catching his glove, drops it down, and immediately deposits it into the net for the hat
He's
trick.
pretty, and he lives in Jersey City, number 13, NICO HISCHIER.
NICO HISCHIER, his 33rd of the season on the power play. The third of the game for NICO, gets a hat trick. Get up out of your seats. The captain, his second hattie on the year. NICO HISCHIER, 33rd of the season from Luke, 33rd of the season, assisted by Luke Hughes and jesperbratt, gives the boys the 4-2 lead at 14:50, and now I'm going nuts. Now I'm going absolutely nuts. I'm throwing shit. I'm screaming. I'm going absolutely ballistic. The hat trick. We don't get to see hatties all too often. Love NICO. Was in good position all night long to make the most of chances he was awarded, whether it was the rebounds. You know, he's right there in front of the net, grabs the puck. I mean, what an amazing game for NICO HISCHIER. jesperbratt picks up his 66th assist of the season. My God. And second of the game. Wow. Devils go up 4-2 with a little over 5 minutes left, and we're like, all right, I feel good now. 5 minutes, don't blow a 2-goal lead. Couple minutes later, Justin Dowling, big credit to Dowling, causes a big turnover in our O-zone. Wild are about to exit. Dowling cuts off a pass. He gets the puck to Tatar. Tatar immediately gets it to Palat. Palat tries to shoot. It gets blocked. The puck just sits there, and Tatar just fires it in. At 16:46, Tatar's 7th of the season from Palat and Dowling, giving the Devils the 5-2 lead. And that is all she wrote, my friends. Your New Jersey Devils leave Minnesota with a beautiful 5-2 victory over a pretty damn good Minnesota Wild club. And what a game. What a game. What a game. We get to the game stats. Devils 33 shots on goal, Wild at 24. Devils 56.3% in the faceoff circle, Wild 43.8%. Devils perfect on the power play, 1 for 1. Wild go 0 for 2 on the power play. Devils perfect in special teams. It was the exact opposite of last night. The Devils gave up, was it 1 or 2 power play goals? I forget. But their penalty kill, 0% for the penalty kill and 0% on the power play. Tonight, it's the exact opposite. We're perfect on the power play, perfect on the penalty kill. Love to see that. Special teams are going to be huge down the stretch into the playoffs. And obviously in the playoffs, special teams is enormous. Got to get them firing on all cylinders. Devils 24 hits, the Wild with 29. Devils with 9 block shots, Wild with 19 block shots. Devils 11 giveaways, and the Wild with 7 giveaways. Devils 5 takeaways, Wild with 7 takeaways. And what an absolutely beautiful Saturday night. A massive win. Markey feeling good about his game. Heavier, edgier, more violent. Johnny Kovacevic with the 1-shot knockdown. Bratter picks up 2 assists. NICO with the hattie. Tuna berries 1. I mean, Paulie Cotter with those silky mitts from a sharp angle. This was an absolutely beautiful game. You love to see it, and I am just elated. Now, am I going to say all of the problems of this team are fixed? Absolutely not. I'm not a crazy person, guys, but I am going to enjoy every win as they come, and I am hoping, and it's maybe slightly optimistic or maybe even borderline delusional, I am hoping that a team bonding, heavier, edgier, more violent road win like we saw tonight, maybe, just maybe, the springboard to bigger and better things for this club. We could only hope. We could only hope, because this has happened time and time again throughout sports. A mediocre team, which I would say the Devils have been fairly mediocre over the course of the season as an average. Really, the average is mediocre. It was an amazing first half and an absolutely tragic second half. Blended together gives you a mediocre average, where a kind of season-defining win can kind of push them forward to new heights and to find their groove. I'm hoping that tonight was that sort of game. And I'm expecting an absolute slobber knocker when these teams play again Monday night at the Rock. I mean, wow. We got a superhero, Magi. Thank you, sir. Game-worn Kobe jersey arrives today. Kobe fight, unreal. Amazing piece. Thanks to the super Magi. He just picked up a very nice minor league Manitoba Moose, I believe it was. Jonathan Kovacevic jersey. That thing is sweet. Hold on. I don't like this hat. I got to switch my hat. Hold on 1 second. I need a black hat again. Sorry, guys. I'm a little bougie like that. I don't even know. All my hats are all over the place now. That's what happens when we get hat tricks. Hats end up all over the place. I need the black hat. This is my good luck hat. Red on red. I got to break, black, red, black. Wow. What a game, guys. I'm going to do another. This one goes out to another bottle shot for my man, NICO. Dirty Devil Vodka, the official vodka of the great Martin Brodeur. Dirty Devil Vodka, smooth as hell. Oh, yeah. Tastes so good after a win. Then we dive to the comments. Devil Heaven 77. This is a big Corleone family game. I get what you mean by that. I don't know that many other people would, but what a game. Heavier, edgier, more violent. Get the troops engaged, and you saw what it could do. I think everyone was very much into this game. Very physical, scrums everywhere. We had the Kovacevic bout. Markey was stick jamming people. It was beautiful. It was an absolutely beautiful game. We need to see more of it, and hopefully they don't forget what this feels like. Tonight was a game where you look at the tape and they're going to say, we were mixing it up everywhere. We haven't seen this in quite some time. Reminiscent of the team we saw in December, and I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. I get people are fighting in the thing again. I can't be a police. Everybody play nice, guys. This is a beautiful night for the New Jersey Devils. Paulie Walnuts, Markey was heavier, edgier, more violent tonight. He definitely was. Absolutely engaged in every which way. Big bounce back game for Markey, and hopefully he can keep it going and just get better and better with time. Stanley says, Kyle, lighten up and enjoy the win. There's not many games left. Jesse, Ace, agreed we played heavier, edgier, more violent, and looked like the Devils at the beginning of the season. Hope to see much more of this Devils team. Yeah, I mean, you just watched the game and you saw the outcome. Get involved. Mix it up. Throw the weight around. Maybe drop the mitts. Wow. But what a game. Oleg says, NICO, he shouts it. Absolutely. Oh, man, are those real stats, Michael? 179 watching and 14 likes? That's tragic. Come on, guys. Hit the button for your boy and for your New Jersey Devils and for your captain, NICO Hischier. James Kohler, NHL refs are very inconsistent, worst of any sport. It certainly seems that way because we are the fastest game on ice and on the planet and everything's moving so fast. Obviously, that represents a very big challenge as it is. But then when you have corrupt clowns like Chris Rooney looking to screw the Devils every time he's officiating a game they're playing in, it makes it that much harder. But, man, I agree with you. The refereeing is just, pretty bad for quite a while. Kyle, my grudge is not with this game at all. I'm happy about the win. What a game from NICO. I'm just very off-put by the broadcaster's comments about this game being a turning point. It could be, but what you have to understand, Kyle, is that they're super homers. It's fine. This is their employer. They are company people. They are going to push the company line, and so they're going to be super positive. I try to kind of keep it in the middle and not be overly negative or positive. I'm not saying everything about the season is fixed, but I will say to the point of a turning point, it very well could be. And it could also be a nothing. It could be we go back to sucking again. It could be. But for right now, I'm going to hope it is a turning point. It certainly could be. And I'm going to enjoy this 2 points and this massive New Jersey Devils victory with all of you. Cheers to all of you. I mean, wow. Refresh, it says 23 for me. That's pretty tragic, too. Rooney again. It's always going to be Rooney, Beachmaster. Chico, it was so huge that they absorbed the goal in the third instead of collapsing, answered back hard. Absolutely. So many games we've seen, Devils took the 2-goal lead, and it was like, okay, they gave one back. Now they brought it to within one, and then it's like, before you know it, they go into shell shock and then tie game. That did not happen tonight, and they added to the lead again. Love to see it. Phil says, Kyle, it's a turning point for the team spirit. Been a long time we've seen this much fight from the boys. Completely agree. Completely agree. Games like this can be a springboard, but the fight was there, and that's what you want to see, especially going to the playoffs. These games are all going to be like this. And it seems like the Devils kind of pick and choose what games they're going to play like this. You have to play every game from here on out until your season is over. For the rest of the regular season and the playoffs, play every game with the intensity you played with tonight, and hopefully we can get some good results. SST says, I've liked the stream for my 8 accounts. Well, thank you times 8. Kyle, a turning point for the team and a turning point for the team spirit is two very different things. It doesn't necessarily have to be. While you're technically correct, a lot of times a turning point in the team spirit can result in a turning point in the performance of the team, and that's what we're all hoping for. I'm not saying that it's a guarantee by any stretch, but hopefully that is the case. Devil Heaven playoff hockey, here we come, baby. Devil Heaven, baby. B, hockey got so much nicer to us this year with all the teams in the Metro below us sucking. Yeah, it's been an absolutely brutal division. I mean, it is what it is. You have the Caps at the very top. The Canes were pretty good. For a while, it was looking like the Devils were going to kind of be in the mix there. And then everyone below just started sucking hard. Flyers, Penguins, the Jackets, even though they've come to life a little bit recently. The Islanders, I mean, it's been ugly. It's been truly ugly. Yeah, I mean, Flyers, Penguins, Islanders, Rangers, Jackets, all pretty damn bad. But what a big 2 points for this team. I pinned a comment. I'm all over the place. I pinned a comment at the top. A lot of people were asking about potential in real life events, like live events, as in not live like this, like live, like people there in real life, as they say. If you have any interest in a potential, and I'm not saying this is a guarantee, but I'm trying to gauge interest and look at some things. If you have any interest in a potential real life event, please see the comment pinned at the top of the chat, I believe, and shoot me an email. It's a little public service announcement. Benjamin, it's torture. Every game is torture. I completely agree. David, if you believe this team plays best in physical matches, doesn't that mean we still have a decent enough chance to win a round in spite of the injuries and months-long 500-ish play? Yeah, David, I do. I've been saying this for weeks. Obviously, my mood goes up and down a little bit with each game. But the one thing I've consistently said is like, yeah, it sucks when we lose these games, but the playoffs is kind of a fresh start. And if we could play somewhat responsible defense with the physical element, with a goalie, Markey, getting super hot, anything is possible. I do think they could beat anybody. I really do. Now, am I saying they're going to be the favorite? No. We're going to be an underdog in the first round no matter who we play, whether that's Carolina, if we hang on to that third in the Metro, which looks like there's a good chance we do. We're clearly going to be a sizable underdog, but that doesn't mean to me that we are not capable of winning. Anyone could beat anyone in this league. We've seen it time and time again in professional sports, and that's why they play the games. And so I firmly do believe if this team kind of starts to gel a little bit before the playoffs, and especially if we get hot goaltending from Markey, I absolutely believe we have a chance, of beating the Canes or anyone else. Doug, they barely won these past couple of weeks. Any great win could be a turning point. I mean, it's a fair point. Chowski, I'm not saying the Devils will make a playoff push, but the East is really open this year, guys. Yeah, I think even Ottawa could give a lot of teams a problem, to be honest. You know, if Ullmark locks it down, obviously you guys know how I feel about Brady Tkachuk. They have a lot of skilled players and a lot of grit in that lineup, and I think they could be a very well-built team for playoff warfare. I really think that. Richard, nice birthday gift for Richie D. Oh, happy birthday, Rich. Happy birthday to you, sir. What a beautiful birthday gift they gave you. Now make a real statement on Monday, then a few days off, fresh legs, and send the rags packing. That'd be great. That would be great. Michael says I'm going to get me a custom Schauser jersey. That's pretty funny. Wasted Youth Caper. Yeah, I love going to the U.S. Traveling Devil, but not going down until the POS Prez is 6 feet under. Okay. That might be a while. Maybe not. SST, I don't hate anybody. I'm not that kind of guy. Traveling Devil, Wasted Youth. I had a fun time in Toronto this year at the past Leafs vs. Devils game. Canada was nice in January. Canada's frozen. I've been to Canada a lot in the winter, and it's frozen. Paulie Walnuts going to the game Monday night against the same Wild, hoping to see the same effort like we saw tonight from the Devils. Absolutely. And that'd be amazing if we could, get another win over them. That would truly be something. It should play just the same way. Going to be very, very chippy. Brian says, love seeing Ace this happy. Cheers to you, Brian. It doesn't happen too often, but when this team has a beautiful outing like tonight, capped with a NICO, Schauser hat trick, man. Samuel, can you believe 3 of the last 4 points? Be still my heart. 750 hockey. Wait, 3 of the last 4. He'd be 4 out of 6 in the last 3 games. 4 of 6 points. It's a 2/3, 666 hockey. Still very good. 4 Devils says Meyer owes Brad a goal. Yeah, I wish NICO, I said it in the chat at the time, but I wish NICO just ripped the puck on net on that 3-on-1. I mean, sometimes it's just too many bodies, and I get what NICO, they were all trying to do, but I feel like that was one of those instances of, maybe NICO was trying to be too cute there and set up a perfect play instead of just ripping it on net. I think, had he just fired it on goal, he has a great shot. I don't know why he's so hesitant to use it in situations like that. I guess he's trying to, be the good teammate, make the extra pass and make the pretty play. But I do wish that he just unleashed it, because I think he would have had a very good chance to score. And instead, the shot goes into, Timo blocks it. But it is what it is. I mean, we won. I'm glad that whole play didn't come back to bite us, because for a while I was like, oh, my God, how are we not going to, bury a situation like that? Dan asked Jonathan, how'd your boys do last night? I heard they had a rough one in Anaheim. James, cheers, ace, win or lose, we booze. Victory drinks are better than losing drinks. Absolutely. Bratt needs 14 points in 7 games for 100. So it's funny. He went into tonight with 84 points, needing 16 points in 8 games, which is exactly a 2-point per game average. Obviously, that's asking for a lot to average 2 points over a stretch of 8. But so far, 1 game up and 1 game down. He did the 2 points. And so he stays on pace. Needs 2 points a game on average for 100. And what another amazing, accomplishment that would be if he could somehow do it. I mean, the odds are super against him, obviously, but that would be some story for Bratter to just continue to be on a tear and finish with 100 points, to be the first Devil in franchise history. Alex, I think they should bring in Casey for more offense in the blue line. We have so much potential with these rookies. I said that after the last game. Our offense has been so stale that, when you have a guy like Seamus Casey that poses a threat from the blue line, that can bring that offense and move the puck. I wanted to see him. After tonight's game, I don't think I want to see any changes at all. Like ride Markey even. Yeah, if there's if something pops up and we start struggling again, I do think, he should be on standby. I do think we don't have many other guys with his skill set outside of Luke that could bring that mobility and offensive threat from the blue line anytime he's on the ice. And I would love to see him back, but I do think he has a super bright future with the New Jersey Devils, whether it's, next season or potentially even the season after. But I mean, I think he's pretty damn good. They want him to work on some of his defensive zone stuff, but I think he's going to be a special player. Chico, hey, every streak, every recovery, every turnaround starts with 1 game. Now I want all their focus on that next game at home. Come out with the same energy, crush this Wild team in your barn. Would be beautiful. Would be beautiful. Ritter Engine, finally seeing some passion, heart, and determination. Yeah. And some fisticuffs mixed in there. It was beautiful. Beautiful night. Phil says the hat belongs to NICO now. Sir Zachary, dope jersey ace, matching hats, the jersey. Red and black, everything. Paulie Walnuts, glad to see without your brown bag. Hopefully we won't see it anymore on you. Well, a lot of people said I should wear it more often. So I'm hoping for my sake, that I don't have to bring it back out, because that means the Devils are struggling. 4 Devils said, wait, do people actually think there's only one username per person? Isaiah with the hat tricks. Dan, I deposit my apologies for dooming all afternoon. I mean, yeah, a lot of people were kind of there, but this team's inconsistent efforts has kind of forced people's hands to maybe act that way. Devil Dog 7 says, we've seen this picture before, most recently beating Edmonton and then getting blown out by Pittsburgh the next game. Very true, but the difference is we beat Edmonton at home and then went on the road and got killed by Pittsburgh, whereas now we got the big win on the road and we're going home. Hopefully that plays into the whole, getting a nice little winning streak going. Would love to see it. Jay Snow, who knew the Devils could actually forecheck and play a chip and chase game? They can. They just don't like to. But we've seen instances of it here and there. They haven't consistently done it. That's for sure. It hasn't been a consistent thing, but they've shown glimpses of it. They're more than capable. Now, if they could consistently embrace that style of game with the heavier, edgier, more violent, we still have good players. There was no reason for us to be as bad as we have been in this calendar year. It is ridiculous. The weightlifting lab, that team, that version of the New Jersey Devils can beat the Canes in the first round. I completely agree. The billion-dollar question is, can we consistently see that version of the New Jersey Devils? And that is the real question. Why couldn't they play like this more when they were, I don't know, I guess early, healthy? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because we were too focused on Instagram hockey. I have no idea. But bottom line is they need to realize this is the type of play that will get you wins, that could keep you in games and get you wins against good teams. Minnesota's a good team. They have a lot of good players. Big playoff type win on the road. Embrace the style of hockey. That's it. John Fay, hopefully we don't need to see that scumbag Rooney's face at the Rock or during any Devils games. Yeah, hopefully. The guy's terrible. Four Devils says Wild wanted to play pond hockey against NJ early and paid for it. Yeah, even without Jack. I've said this in the past as well. If you want to play pond hockey, the New Jersey Devils would absolutely love to. Absolutely love to. That is what they thrive on. Good teams refuse to do that and trade chances with the Devils because they know the Devils are lethal, and that is what their lineup is geared towards that. And so if you want to get in these shootout games, even without Jack, Brad or Nico, Timo, whoever it is, someone's going to make you pay if you keep doing it. And we got a couple early. It was nice to see. But the good teams, avoid that. And they know, take away the middle, slow them down, and make them do the uncomfortable things that they don't love doing, which is the dump and chase and trying to work a cycle and get grimy, greasy goals. They don't love doing it, but they've shown they're capable, and they need to keep doing it because the open ice is not going to be there for the playoffs. It's going to shrink down, and they're going to have to go to war. Kyle, Ace, what do you make of the turning point comments by the broadcast at the end? I think it was a little over-exaggerated, but, it very well may end up being that way. It could end up being that way for sure. Daniel Pino Jr., thank you, sir. I want to be Nico's Swiss Miss. Thank you for the super. I don't know what Nico's Swiss Miss means exactly, but what a game for the captain. What a game for the captain. I lost my spot again. Sherry, critical win and reminiscent of the 12-23 game that I was at. What a beautiful game that was. That huge win over the Rangers. We saw two bouts. I forget who. Cotter fought somebody, and so did Dylan. And then Dylan left the ice like a maniac because it was late in the period. What a great game. I was also at that game. Shout out to my buddy Brian. I went to that game with him. What a great one. That one and the next one on the 27th against the Canes was also amazing. And those back-to-back wins that I was at, both of them, with Brian, I think that's what really made me start spiraling out of control with my expectations and hopes, because in those two games, it felt like we were a true blue cup contender. Like at both of those games, I was like, this squad is so legit. And I think many others felt the same. And then, we had the Christmas break. We go to Carolina on the 27th, and it was like a whole new world from then on. It was just tragedy after tragedy. I don't know what the hell happened, but hopefully we see, more of those games like that Ranger game you referenced there, Sherry, and the game we saw tonight. Maria D, perfect jersey for tonight. What a game, Ace. The Hattie, the heavier, edgier, more violent. What's going on, Maria? What a game. What a game. We need more of this. We need more and more. Louis says 83 likes. Okay, that's a little more respectable. Still not great. Stephen 83. Devil Heaven, Markey's a beast in the locker room and out. Another great leader for this team. Absolutely. Markey is a grizzly veteran. Grizzly veteran. Love me some Jacob Markstrom. Hopefully he continues to just elevate his game and drag this team far. Tasha, hey, Ace. Teen here, so I'm unaware of the history. Why? It's not Marooney, it's Rooney. Rooney. I'm not even sure what it stems from, but he clearly has it out for the Devils. It goes back to and there may have been an incident before this, but the most egregious one was in the Stanley Cup Finals in 2012, Game 6. The Devils, they were down 3-0 in the series. Looked like they were going to get swept. They were the Devils had home ice that year. So they lost the first two games in overtime at home. They go to LA, lose Game 3. Now they're down 3-0. The Kings have a chance to win the cup at home in Game 4. The Devils find a way to win that game. So now the series is 3-1. Devils go back home for Game 5. Beautiful Game 5 victory at the Rock. So now the series is 3-2. Force it back to LA. And now the Devils are one win away in this Game 6 in LA from forcing a Game 7 back in New Jersey, which if they somehow got it back to New Jersey, I don't see how they would have lost. That would have been a phenomenal comeback from down 3-0 to win a cup. But early on in the game, Game 6 in LA, Bernier checked the guy, and I guess it probably should have been a boarding penalty, but not a major. Chris Rooney, the scumbag that he is, they give Bernier a major, and I think the Kings scored like 3 goals on the power play in the first period, and that's all she wrote. I mean, the game's over at that point. When the cup's in the building, a team's looking to close you out and win a cup in their own barn, and then you score 3 goals immediately. I mean, it was game over from there. It was terrible. Completely terrible. Michael S. says, I think Covey got the unsportsmanlike because he told the ref it's a great game. You should watch it. Is that real? Did that really happen? I totally missed that if that was the case. Chico, is playoff style hockey and they look like the better team despite being depleted. Yeah, we got some dogs. Lean in on that style of hockey and keep playing that way. Jace, no, they either got to give other teams less space up top or make sure they're tying sticks up in front of the net. Yeah, the shots from the point getting constantly tipped and deflected is super frustrating. And like I said, I don't even know if you could look this up, but I'd imagine we are towards the top of the league in those types of goals against. It just seems like we've been victimized by that all season long. Painful. Sherry, clone this effort and come out every night like this, guaranteed win. I mean, not guaranteed, but it definitely gives you a very, very good chance of winning. Nothing is guaranteed. But it definitely gives us a great chance. And my phone's blowing up. Everyone's feeling this New Jersey Devils win. Weightlifting Lab says, I bet we see Mac next game. I'm going to bet that we don't. Would love to see it. But I just don't think they're going to put him in, unfortunately. I'd love to see him in there. He's the heavier, edgier, more violent king. But, oh, wow, 2 minutes left, 3-2 Senators. I totally forgot about that one. Islanders almost came back late earlier this afternoon. 3-2 final. Wow. Ottawa does us a favor. Columbus. That's a big hit to their hopes. Yeah, I mean, the teams chasing us keep losing. It's really sad how. Let's see. So Columbus, 72 games with 75 points. Yeah, I mean, they have 3 games in hand, but we're up 10 points. Looking pretty good. James, a game like this gets me excited for the playoffs. We could take those Hurricanes if we play like we did tonight. Absolutely. To me, it's just the question of, can this team consistently play like this? Because we haven't seen it consistently in quite some time. I'm hoping this could be kind of the spark that they're like, oh, shit, this is what we have to do to win games? Yeah, this is what you got to do. Smash guys. Heavier, edgier, more violent. Leo, my birthday is Monday. I'm going to the game, and I sure hope they don't disappoint me. Well, happy early birthday, and hopefully you get a birthday gift of a big win. Matt M. Payton got a big birthday gift. His birthday was the night of the Blackhawks game. Yeah. So Richard's birthday was tonight, and hopefully your birthday is another win. Joshua Lee, I was at the game, got back to the hotel. Did my hat show up on the broadcast? Oh, you were there, Joshua? That must have been sick. And props to you. You got your hat on the ice, Joshua. That's what you do. You guys know how I feel about hat tricks. It's crazy. People barely throw them on the ice at home. I don't know. I was freaking out, to be honest. I always go back and watch it later. I was just going ballistic in my house after the Hattie, so I'm not sure if they showed any hats on the ice. I don't recall, but maybe someone in the chat was paying closer attention and wasn't going crazy. For Devils, anyone concerned Markey got actually hurt, or was it just a stinger? I think he just took a puck up high towards the collarbone where there's kind of a gap in the padding. And I think he just kind of took one of those and just needed to kind of, weight it off, shake it off a little bit. .666 hockey. I'll take it. Chico Sprong's got to get bumped up the lineup, in my opinion. He just always seems to get the puck moving in the right direction, and the Devils create great scoring chances when he's on the ice. Yeah, there's a couple sequences that I recall where he kind of used the speed and he uses his body really well to shield, and I think he came flying up the wing and he kind of jammed on the brakes and he circled back, and there was kind of a guy draped on him and he still maintained the puck. Interesting player for sure. I'm curious to see, what the approach is when we hopefully clinch a playoff spot in the playoffs, specifically with the bottom 6. If we are going to see Keefe kind of ride the same guys, whoever that may be, or if we're going to see guys kind of, in and out of the lineup like we've been seeing the past few games. Like some nights you'll see Bastian Lazar, some nights you'll see Sprong and Foot. I'm curious if he kind of has those guys paired together, if like you might see 1-1. Very curious, but lots of options in the bottom 6. Marta says, "For Devil, in the post-game interview, Markey was bruised in the lower neck area. I think it was that." Also of note, Jacob Markstrom talked about, how the team responds in these physically, demanding games. And so Markey knows and referenced kind of how, the physicality plays a part in it as well. I just don't know what the people who don't believe in it, what they're not getting, but you've heard it from tons of former players. Markey talked about it tonight. It definitely matters. Jared Hayes, great win tonight. Love seeing Nico get the Hattie. Sorry, I haven't joined the chat lately. Been depressing watching the boys lately. I don't blame you, Jared. It's been a depressing couple weeks for sure. Yeah, Michael, 660, 666 hockey seems fitting. Absolutely. This is a specialty. This is a throwback specialty. This is what the third jersey should have been from the 90s. It's a relic. But, yeah. Hopefully the next jersey the Devils do, when the jersey gets retired, they do something a little bit better. Chico, I don't know if I've ever seen a player with as good a shot as Nico, as seemingly hesitant to use it. From the outside looking in, looks like he just overthinks sometimes. Yeah, that was one where I just think, he just analyzed it a little too much. I think he should have just ripped it. The whole time he was coming down, I was like yelling, "Shoot it!" because I knew he was going to try a pass, and it was either going to get broken up or the shot was going to hit somebody. There's just too much mass, too much man mass converging at the net for the puck to find its way through. Liking Cotter more every game. I've loved Cotter all season. I think he was a great pickup by Fitz in the offseason. Slurp says, "We need a corporate sponsor to pick up the tab for a flight to New Jersey from the Midwest." Stanley, why don't goalies wear danglers anymore? All the cool French Canadian goalies wore them back in the day. Yeah, most goalies don't wear the throat protectors that drop down anymore. Shesterkin wears. When I was randomly looking at some photos the other day, I know Shesterkin wears, and I'm sure there's a few other guys that do as well, but he's the only one I know for a fact offhand that does. Is Captain Morgan and a chilled Swiss Miss a good combo? Oh, boy. Chico, treat this like a mini-series. It is. Start playing playoff hockey here and now. Yeah, they should have done that coming out of the Four Nations break. Nick, has no one mentioned we actually won the back end of a back-to-back? What is happening? It's true. I think we've won 1 or 2 this year, but, the past couple seasons, our record in game 2 of a back-to-back is absolutely abysmal. Sherry, my son is a huge fan, so thank you for shaking his hand at the 322 game. Thank F, he got to see Bratt get the most assist record, even though we lost tonight, though we kicked ass. Yeah, I don't remember. How old's your son, Sherry? I don't remember. Sometimes my brain is just at games. I just am in another state sometimes. All the sodium and sugar flowing through my blood. David Chimes. Jace knows right. Jace knows right. The chip and chase game was the biggest difference tonight compared to other games. Yeah. Grind them out. Grind them out. Samuel, took my son to the Cup Finals in 95, and he became a freaking Flyers fan. Revenge. His 3 boys are all Devils fans. Good for them. They took up Grandpa's team instead of Dad. How did you pull that off, Samuel? Yeah, revenge is sweet. For Devil, this right now is the time NJ needs to ramp up and get hot. It carries over into the playoffs. Jets F that up, but there's still time to build. For sure. Better late than never. Do it now. The time is now. Jason says, I don't think we're that dangerous to our speed anymore. Maybe not over the course of a whole game with every line, but in any given situation when, Nico and Bratt are out there, or one or the other, the speed is always a threat. For Devil, where are the Devils with analytics team speed to the rest of the NHL? You would have to ask a math nerd that question, For Devil. I'm not studying that shit. Jay Snow, Dowling had a good game. Really liked his play along the walls and his forecheck, and he made it great. He caused basically he made the play that led to the Tatar goal, for sure. M Sharp, Nico is such an intense player. I would so love to see him smiling and lifting the cup someday. Yeah, I hope it's in New Jersey. Would love to see it. Nico with the cup would be He'd be the next guy immortalized in the in this studio. Nicole, Nico deserves to live that cup. I'll tear up. I would love to see it. Nico with the cup would be a beautiful photo. Marky as well. I could picture a lot of these guys hoisting the cup. My Bop 36, 10 players with points. Good to see the role players chipping in. Need balanced scoring in the playoffs, and you need it from up and down the lineup. Can't be a one-line team. And we've seen that kind of all season too, where it's if the top guns didn't get it going, we got nothing. Love to see contributions from the bottom six. Love to see it from the defensemen when possible. And that's why I think, Seamus Casey might be a guy worth looking at. But I wouldn't change a damn thing from tonight. I would keep exactly everything the same. Devil Dog, we look good in the Friday night 12-27 home game win against Carolina as well. 24 hours later in the Natchez game is when it all started going downhill. I agree. Fairly Guitar, I was sitting behind the bench, and after the Covey extra minor, complete nonsense, Nico came back to the bench and said something to the effect of they can't even explain the call. Yeah, because it was complete bullshit. But you saw a classic there, Fairly Guitar. What a game you saw live, huh? Paulie Walnuts, a lot of times our wingers are caught down low and out of position, leaving the point wide open. Yeah, we've been victimized from shots from the point all year long. All year long. Stanley, Rooney's a piece of steaming shit. Didn't he also officiate the game against Toronto in 23 where 3 goals were called back? Yes, he did. And Chicken Tender Gate was born. Tenders were flying over the glass as people threw their food in disgust. I mean, I personally wouldn't throw chicken tenders on the ice because that's a waste of food. But there was all kinds of debris raining down on the ice after 3 goals were disallowed. Nicole, I don't think there are any hats on the ice. I was disappointed. Someone in here earlier said they threw one. I mean, there's not tons on the ice, even at home games, unfortunately. Daniel, I didn't see any hats on the ice. Is it coming for an away game to not throw hats? Oh, no. If I'm at an away game and there's a hattie, I'm chucking the hat. Someone here said they threw one. Michael, with Rooney as a ref, I'm sure any hats were thrown, the Devils would have gotten unsportsmanlike. I don't think they could even do that. Paulie Walnuts, I wasn't surprised to not see any hats on the ice, being that it was a road game. Red Devil, Nico with the hattie that actually kept the heat on most of this game. Seemed like they took the foot off the gas a few times, but not a bad showing. Markey seems like he was a little more confident too. Absolutely, and hopefully he just continues to build off that. If Markey is not starting Monday, if he doesn't start Monday against this Wild group at the Rock, I will be furious. That has to be a Markey game. I suspect it will be, but sometimes I feel like the math team gets involved and they start poking their nose around. Markey must get that game. Zach, I'm starting to think maybe we punted the game against Winnipeg to reserve energy for the doubleheader against Minnesota. I don't know. But the boys are flying tonight like they had 4 days rest. These guys aren't punting any games. We just got handled. It's a very big difference. Ryder, Nemitz looked good again tonight, had a great few opportunities and played well defensively. Yeah, he's looking to stamp his ticket to the playoffs. And it seems like as it stands today, it seems like he's going to be on the playoff. He's going to be in the playoff lineup. Traveling Devil took Nico 8 seasons to get a hat trick, and then he does it twice in the same season. I was at the first one. What a beautiful game. That one against the Predators at the Rock, that was sick. Absolutely sick. Paulie, great to see Nico get a second hat trick of the season. I was there for his first, as was I. Jay Snow, Nemitz bothers me. He needs to be more willing to take a hit to make a play, and too many times I see Nemitz waving his stick at a guy. Yeah, that comes in time. You got to, sometimes you got to take a big one to make a play. A lot of guys don't like that, but it's definitely part of the game. A lot of guys will, get nervous and they'll kind of bobble a puck or something because they know they hear the footsteps and they know that someone's coming to crunch them. Can't be doing that. You got to sacrifice the body to make the play. But that all comes in time. I think, I think you will see him get better with that in time. People are kind of all over the place on Nemitz, it seems. There's a lot of haters. There's a lot of lovers. I'm kind of neutral. I'm just like, you're dealing with growing pains. It sucks, but it is what it is. We don't have, really a better option at the moment. We've been decimated with injuries, and here we are. Chico says Nemitz has been better overall than Casey this season, even with as sheltered Casey was. The only thing Casey had over Nemitz was an insane, unsustainable shooting percentage. Yeah, I think it's like 44% or something. 4 goals on 11 shots. Yeah. I mean, it's not sustainable, but shit. He, regardless of it not being sustainable, he's still a threat from the blue line. B, Jesper wants 70 apples. Want to see him shoot the puck more, though. He's got a good shot. Doesn't use it enough. Only 20 goals. Yeah, I mean, I think of Bratter as an overall great playmaker, more so probably than a pure goal scorer. But obviously, he could score as well. But what a player for the New Jersey Devils. Mr. Consistency. John Fay, 189 people watching and 124 likes. We can do better. Not only do we win, our captain got a hattie and the fucking like about that. Hit the thumbs up for your boy. Thanks, John. Chico, I do think Casey's going to be very, very good. Both he and Nemitz need more time to develop. Yeah, absolutely. These guys are kids. These guys are children. Children. Yeah, there ain't much we can do about that now, and it's weird to complain after his best game of the season for sure. All right, Sherry, that's what I thought. Okay, yeah, so I remember meeting your son. Yeah, when I hear, like, my son, I usually think of, like, I don't know why. I just default to, like, child. But shout out to your son. Yeah, I definitely remember talking to him at the game. For Devil, needless to say, NJ will have a lot of problems managing Cade speed. One answer, heavier edge or more violent. Yeah, hit them. Hit them. Hit them into oblivion. F those analytics. I agree with that. Chico, Nemitz had one disastrous period versus Winnipeg and New Jersey. London says, no one's allowed to do him ever again when NICO HISCHIER is our captain. It's very true. I mean, I don't know how much that's going to cut down on the overall dooming after some bad losses, but obviously NICO is a very, very good player in this league. Nick Sports, Rooney is a terrible referee that has victimized the Devils in many games with terrible calls. Rooney is all things awful. Brandon, after last evening's fun spectacle on the channel, I gladly and proudly watched previous videos from the channel. It was lots of fun. Thanks, Brandon. The other Brandon thinks that this Brandon is a bot. I don't think that it is, but it's possible. It's possible that it is a bot. I don't know. Bots are very advanced these days. I don't know what the point of it would be. Knowles, late to party. What a dub. Yeah, they interviewed Markey, and he said he will likely train to start. He looks great in net tonight. He will likely train to start. And then John says, I'll put it this way. Rooney is the reason we don't have 4 cups right now. Man, it hurts. It hurts. Double Heaven Ace, what do you normally drink at Prue Center? A lot of times I don't drink at Prue Center. Most of the time I don't really because I drive most of the time, so I might have a drink. And most of the time, if I do, I'll either get like a tequila on the rocks with a splash of ginger ale, or I'll get one of like the White Claw seltzer things. Shoots, what a game, baby. Keep the shit going, please. Happy Saturday, Ace. Let's go Devils. Let's go Devils to you, Shoots. Looks like in that profile picture there, you're about to go rob a bank. I like your style with the whatever the hell they call those hats. Chief Key says, I'm drunk. Devil Heaven Casey is more natural talent. I'm assuming he's talking about compared to Nemitz. Chico, there's a future here coming up where the Devils have a really good puck mover on each pair between Luke, Nemitz, and Casey. If they all make it. I do think that's very questionable as well. Are we able to keep both Nemitz and Casey long term? It's a very interesting kind of situation. Very interesting situation, but we will see how it all plays out. How the blue line takes shape over the next few years is very interesting. Devil Heaven, you might need a drink. You might need to go to the water fountain with SST. He's usually the guy that needs that's a little parched, but seems like you might be too. Sherry, are you single? I'm pretty sure you asked that about somebody else too. Chief Keef, hit the like button for our Lord and Savior Ace. Guy spends game nights with us degenerates. Thanks for that, Chief Keef. Cheers to you. Appreciate that. Tasha, oh yeah, our defense is going to be good offensively, and hopefully they can improve defensively. Yeah, you're not kidding. Got to keep pucks out of the net. Oh, whoa, I just lost. Hartman is an absolute bum. Wasn't he suspended for 10 games or something? Was he? It's possible. Hartman crushed a center on the faceoff and got suspended. Okay. Chico, Markey's been trending back upwards lately. It would be huge for him to go into the playoffs at 100%. At this point, if it's me, he's starting all but one game the rest of the way. I would do the same. I think he's got to get the reps in. He missed a lot of time, and I think the reps will do more for him than, trying to do analysis paralysis and being like, oh, he needs this rest and all this bullshit. But, the math nerds are going to get involved. I'm trying to see where the easy off night could be. Yeah, so we come home Monday for the Wild. Yeah, then we have 4 days off, and we play the Rangers. That's crazy. A whole week, work week of no games. Rangers on the 5th, Saturday the 5th. Then Tuesday at home against the Bruins. Penguins on Friday the 11th. The Islanders on Sunday the 13th. And then at Boston the 15th, our last road game of the season. Back home to close her up Wednesday. So I guess Markey, I'd imagine we could have possibly clinched by the 15th, I'm hoping. So there'll be 2 games left, so they'll probably give maybe Allen the game at Boston and give Markey the 16th at the Red Wings. But either way, the games are so spaced out that I do hope we see Markey in all but one. I agree with that, Chico. I don't know if we're going to see it. Michael S. Ace, if we have a meetup, you better take an Uber. People will buy you a ton of drinks. I think I would take an Uber to an event like that or have a chauffeur. I definitely wouldn't drive. Johnny K, take break for a game, Ace. A really good effort tonight. Markey was nasty and it was awesome to see NICO go beast mode. Love that kid. Yeah. The captain. He's our captain with the second hat trick of the season. Paulie Walnuts, looking forward to seeing Flower and Net Monday night, rooting against him, of course. He's a legend and future Hall of Famer. I don't know how the Wild have been utilizing him. I'm curious if it might not even be a guarantee to see him in that game. I think there's a chance that, you would think that they would play him, but I don't know if that's a guarantee. Chico, if it's me, I try my best to keep Nemitz and Casey developing, and then once they've hit their peak, you can either keep them both or trade one for help elsewhere. We're going to have to move somebody, though, to make room. Imagine our defense in 2 to 3 years. It could be very good. Let's go Devils. The magic number is only 10 points now to clinch. Devils Holic, yo, gabagool, what's going on? Chico, Hartman is the dirtiest player in the NHL right now. He did just get a double-digit game suspension and has been suspended like 4 times in the last 2 years. Wow. Wow. Tasha says, I'd keep one, trade one. That's what a lot of people kind of speculated would happen. But they're both here for now. Salayev, Casey Nemitz, Luke, Covey, Pesci, possibly Quinn. You got more Quinn. There's a lot of Quinn obsessed people. A lot of Quinn obsessed. The off night Bruins, the 15th is the Markey day off game. Yeah, that's what I would do too. I'm thinking, do I try to go to that one? I'm just looking for an excuse to go back to Boston. I really do like Boston. It's a fun city. My buddy lives there. I don't know if I could get him out. He's got kids, and, these people with their kids, when they have young kids, it's like the built-in excuse for everything. No matter what, they're like, oh, kids, blah, 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 kids. I'm like, come on. But there's also some very good pizza at that Regina's place. Very good. That's a Tuesday. Man, it's crazy how fast the season flew by. Seems like just yesterday it was training camp, and now here we are, a couple weeks away from the start of the playoffs. Brandon says, anyone see Impractical Jokers at Devils game? Which game are you referring to? The Impractical Jokers were at a game recently. Who's in net in 3 years? In 3 years, I believe Yegorov is at least the 1B guy on his way to being the 1A. I don't think he'll be the starter in 3 years. I think that's when he'll be on the team, and he'll probably start as the 1B, and then I think he steals the job pretty quickly. Yeah, Yegorov. Congratulations to head coach Jay Pandolfo, former 2-time Stanley Cup champion with your New Jersey Devils, and Mikhail Yegorov in net, and captain Shane LaChance, all New Jersey Devil. LaChance just got traded to the Devils recently, about a month or so ago. He's the captain of the Boston University Terriers. Yegorov in net, and Jay Pandolfo behind the bench. They won in overtime. To get to the Frozen Four. Unbelievable stuff. Bonzo says Allen or Markey next game. I'm going Markey 100%. I hope that's what we see. This is one. There's certain games where I could see the case for both where I wouldn't get that mad either way. This is one that I will be livid if Markey's not in there next game. Chief Keef, dude, I'm ordering Ace of Limo with 5 stacked women. Guy deserves it. Oh, thanks, Chief Keef. Chico, where's that HISCHIER hater trying to tell us NICO isn't captain material again? There's a bunch of them. There's definitely a bunch of them, but, they all pipe down after games like this. Yeah, BU won in overtime today. I had it playing on the other screen during the Devils game. Devil heaven, don't drink and drive, our young Devils fans. Absolutely not. You could ruin a life very quickly. There was that tragedy. Was it a few weeks ago? There was a young couple, I think, that were hit by a drunk driver when they were on their way back from a Devils game. Terrible stuff. Be smart, Uber, Lyft, priceless for sure. Tasha, yeah, Ace, I'm with you. I have no clue what the Wild are doing with Flower. We'll see. Four Devil says, my guess is Allen starts Monday, Markey against Rags. Markey should be playing against both. Zach, imagine we see a goalie fight between Markey and Igor on Saturday. No, I can't, but that would be absolutely phenomenal. If Markey and Igor fought, that would be great stuff. Jay Snow, I could see Quinn coming here in free agency. I think everyone can. I think he's definitely going to, inquire on it. I'm sure the Devils are going to at least have some level of interest, but I think they got to start with getting Luke at a fair number, and then who knows? But I'm sure the marketing team and the owners are all salivating at the thought of having all three Hughes brothers. That's quite rare, and especially for them all to be as good as they are. John Fay, for Devil, well, it's 5 days off between games, so maybe Allen gets the go for both. I would start Allen and none. Chief Keef Ace, and the Devils won the cup. We were all going out on my boat. Drinks, food, and stacked bras, including, I'll also include a Fitz punching bag. Oh, God. Chico, Quinn, I think a lot of people are still scarred from Needs leaving to go play with his brother, but he's a great player. I take him in a heartbeat. It's unlikely, in my opinion, though. Jay, thoughts on moving Casey to wing with that shot? I've seen it suggested before. I just think it's a crazy idea. That's a very big leap, especially for a young player. It's a lot for sometimes for guys who have played in the league for several years to make that jump from one position to another. But for a young, inexperienced kid, I think I don't even think it's worth exploring. I think it's a pipe dream. I think his talents are going to be best utilized as the puck moving offensive threat defenseman that he is, and eventually he'll make the lineup, whether it's here or somewhere else. Eventually, he's going to be on an NHL team. But I think moving him to the wing, I just think that's kind of a recipe for disaster. Brandon said, so Devils Arena is being used for NCAA tournament right now. Frank the Tank is there. He's always at the NCAA basketball tournament. Tasha, hot take, kind of see Quinn not coming to NJ, instead Luke going to Canucks. I don't think so. Johnny K, I saw Marc-Andre Fleury in his first game against the Devils at CAA. I was trying to tell everyone around me he was the real deal. Here we are 20 years later. Hope he gets the start on Monday. Great guy. Yeah, Fleury's been a beast for so long. It's crazy. It's crazy how good and how long he's been good for. He came into the league 22 years ago. Wow. It's wild. Michael, yeah, Rob Niedermeyer did come to New Jersey later in his career. It was too late. It was after Scott was already gone. Stanislav said, kids do keep you tied up. I got 2 of them. Yeah, it's a great built-in excuse for everybody. Never heard more excuses than the kid excuse. For Devil, if Allen starts and fumbles Monday, I'd be inclined to believe Markey takes over the crease mostly to the playoffs. I mean, he should do that already. Keefe's essentially said Markey's going to be the playoff goalie, so you might as well keep getting him these starts and let him play a lot. I mean, maybe I'd sit him two games, but the way the schedule is spaced out, I want him active. I want him active, not sitting too long idly, and let him just keep getting in the groove. Brandon, do you all prefer to play in Newark or Meadowlands? Anyone miss Brendan Byrne? I would go back to the old arena in 2 seconds. My thoughts on this are well documented. We've talked about it a million times on here. Vic, I say Pandolfo will probably coach the Devils at some point. That'd be awesome. Supposedly he interviewed with Fitz, I guess, before Keefe was hired. That was a story that came out. And it would be cool if he ended up here one day for sure. I love when we bring back legends into the organization. Chico, a chance might turn into a pretty decent NHLer. It'd be nice if he did. We have literally no depth at any position at all. None. I mean, I guess in terms of NHL ready, this came up on the pre-game as well. I do think we have pretty good goaltending depth for like the 2 to 5 year window from now. But in terms of like immediate depth, we really don't have it anywhere. And you saw, just what we had to go do at the deadline to try to supplement the bottom 6 with Cody Glass and Daniel Sprong. And then our big blue line additions were Dumoulin and Chalowski. So, the depth is non-existent at the moment. Richard, Brendan Byrne content was great because you could tailgate. Don't get me started. You're trying to get me fired up, Richard. I know what you're doing here. You're trying to get me fired up because there is nothing better than tailgating outside of a playoff hockey game. Nothing is better. Save him. What do you got to save him for? Play him in both games. What do we have to save him? He can play both. Play him against Minnesota and play him against the Rangers. Dire Straits, Ace, random question. Is your brother as big of a Devils fan as you are? No. I would call him a very, very casual fan. He was into it more when we were younger, but I would definitely classify him as a very casual fan now. Devils Holic, I'm surprised the Devils never did a moment of silence for the Devils fans who were killed. Someone brought that up. I didn't follow it, but I could have sworn that someone said they thought it was like planned or something. I don't remember. I remember seeing a post about it somewhere or other that someone was talking about. They were expecting it to happen and it never did. I mean, I don't know how much of the team knew or whatever. They can't seem to get anything right. So I'm not too surprised. I don't think it was malicious. Brandon, can you give me a tour of your Devils fan cave? Are you a fan of another sports team, Seton Hall? Now, I'm a RU guy, but I really only collect. I mean, I do collect other stuff besides Devil stuff, but not. Most of the stuff. I have some cool like Rucker stuff, but not like an overwhelming amount like Devil stuff. And I do collect like music and pop culture type stuff, like autographs and certain things. But most of it is, New Jersey Devils. I don't have like a thing like this for anything else. John, was that a watch party up here in Boston? BU is where I go to school. Very nice, John. Incredible atmosphere. Can't wait for the Frozen Four. You're a current student. I think you've popped into a previous live. Yo, tell me you're going to St. Louis, John. Tell me you're about that life. Tell me you're traveling to the Frozen Four. Someone, top Devils D-men in transition. Scott Niedermeyer, Luke Hughes, Johnny Oduya. It's an interesting list. Johnny Oduya. I doubt Markey plays both games. I hope he does, but I'm not surprised by anything. Sports science, guys. You got to trust the science. For Devil, does Big Mac come back for the Rags? I hope so, but if I had to bet on it, I would probably say no. I would probably guess no, but he should. Pat says, I don't think Dougie plays out the rest of his contract here. I don't think so either, but I think we might still be a year or two away from him getting dealt. I don't think he stays to the very end, but I think he's got some more time here for sure. Zach says, if we do get Quinn, they better not be putting their first initials on the jerseys. A lot of people hate that. Chico, Dougie's no move clause becomes a 21 team, rather. No trade clause on July 1. I think he gets moved next year or in the next offseason. I agree with that. A lot of people are like, oh, we're just going to trade him this summer. I'm like, no one's trading for a guy that's been injured in back-to-back years without seeing him back on the ice again. It's just not going to happen. Paulie Walnuts, my son works with the brother of the twin girls who got into the fatal accident on their way home from that Devils game. Oh, man, it's brutal. Stanley, I miss how CAA would literally shake in big moments. Yeah, you could feel the building sway, especially when you're upstairs. Michael says getting Quinn is the only time these owners would use LTIR money. I think that would be an exciting enough of an event for them to possibly spend the money. I do agree. We need to become the Vegas injured reserves. What's the last NHL team with 3 or more brothers on the team? No, someone looked this up. I don't know. Was it the Stasnys? Nordiques had 3 Stasny brothers. Alex, man, I can't stand the Hurricanes. Please, can we beat them for once? I would love to bounce them. Bouncing them would be absolutely phenomenal. Would love to see it. Long time in the making. Evan was at the game. Baby. Tons of Devils Nation and Mini, and we showed out. Also, a ton of Herzog family was here. 3 straight wins over Minnesota heading back to last season. The third was awesome. Go Devs. I hope you had a good time, Evan. You saw a great game. The captain. Tasha, I feel like Luke would be more likely to play with his brother. Probably insane contract. I don't know why this is a narrative that you're pushing, but I think that you are going to see Luke get a nice contract, sometime soon. So I don't see him leaving, and I can't see them as American boys wanting to, play in a Western Canadian city. It just doesn't make sense to me. Brandon, is there a particular video where you discussed your arena thoughts? No, it was just talked about in lives multiple times. Evan, always a huge Devs Nation turnout here in Minnesota. Great place to come. They were playing Jimmy Buffett all night as we lit up those guys. Is there a lot of Devils fans there, or people make a trip out of it? Devil Dog 7, yeah, tailgate when we had playoff runs in May or June. That was 20 years ago. It's true. It's sad, but true. Devil Heaven Ace, what did you think about Hoboken for Prudential Center and or Jersey City? I would have liked it better than Newark, but I do think, infrastructurally, these cities are not meant for 17, 18,000 people to converge all at once and then all leave at once. Like, it's just not set up for it. And that's why it's just a traffic nightmare. Devil Dog, 25 plus years ago, more like it. We're not a tailgating weather team now. Well, listen, first round is pretty much tailgating weather in my book, for sure. First round is tailgate eligible, hands down. And so it's looking like we're going to the postseason. Certainly would like to tailgate. Tasha, even at least Dumoulin kind of fits the vibe of the team and adds defensively. Not the best, but at least you don't forget he's there. Brandon Lewis, anyone a MacGyver fan? The actor's from Minnie broke a shoulder leg in the high school championship and is a massive hockey fan. In the show, his favorite team was Flames. MacGyver was produced often in Canada. I remember MacGyver on USA Network. Shit was crazy. I was a young kid. My brother loved MacGyver. It was a good show. M. Sharp, Ace, do you have any player sticks? Yeah, I have a massive, massive stick collection, M. Sharp. Hopefully one day I could reveal the real museum. This is just this is not even a pop-up shop of the museum. The real museum is going to be something special. But this is just a very small appetizer. Tasha, Chalowski plays like an NHL player. Maybe he'll surprise in the future, though. Hopefully he's solid enough because it seems like he's going to be here for the playoffs. I don't see him getting pushed out. Zach, McDermott probably stays in the player suite since Rempe is likely out. I haven't been following. I think he's been scratched a lot too, right? I would still like to see him in regardless of Rempe, but Evan, these road games are super fun, especially when we get Hatties from our captain. Great night. Nico hat tricks are phenomenal. Love to see it. I'm jealous of whoever was there tonight. I was at the one, luckily, by random stroke of luck when he got that one against the Predators. It was a beautiful night at the Rock. Michael Russell, appreciate you, Ace. Night all. Good night, Michael. Let's go Devils 95, 2000, 2003. Big Mac will probably not play versus Rags because Rempe is hurt. Still think he should be in the lineup regardless. I agree. You know, I don't care that Rempe's playing or not. Put McDermott out there. This is going to be a heavier, edgier, more violent game. And heavier, edgier, more violent games call for the heaviest, edgiest, most violent players to be playing in said game. And we got King, heavy, edgier, more violent. The toughest man in the National, Curtis McDermott. Put him out there and let him bust up whoever wants a piece. Richard, I've got a 26-year-old 6'2", 235, and a 19-year-old 6'1", 195. I'm pretty sure they're not mine. Each totaled one of my car's trucks. Both okay, though, and that's all that matters. Damn, both your sons totaled one of your cars? What are the odds of that? Richard, are you a big dude? If you have two big sons, you must be a big dude, too. M. Sharp, I wonder which player in the league was last to give up a wooden stick in the entire league. That probably happened around, I want to say 2003. Let me see. I know I have a Joe Neuendijk from when he was with the Devils. Joe Neuendijk wooden stick. Yeah, Neuendijk was still playing with a wooden stick in 2003. He's probably one of the last guys, I would imagine. Holy shit, I just saw a picture of Neuendijk in 2006 playing with a wood stick. Oh, yeah, he's got to be one of the last ones in the whole league. There's a picture of him on the Panthers in 2006 with a wood stick. That's crazy. I didn't realize he played with it. And he did try other composite sticks, like the lighter sticks, at times, but it seemed like he always would go back to the wood at some point. The good old Sherwoods. That's so funny. Someone, last NHL team with three or more brothers, Carolina, 12-13, Jordan, Jared, Eric Stahl. There you have it. Evan, Margaritaville night in Minnesota tonight. Awesome night. It's a party out here. Bars hopping here in Minnie. What's the weather like? LJ, Devils bouncing the Canes in the first round would be cathartic. I would love it. I'm kind of over it too, Samuel. It's like all people talk about. I can't imagine how much more it'll get talked about if it ever happened. Not that I care. I mean, listen, the guy's a good player. I just feel like it's going to be a lot of money tied up on defense, but it is what it is. Richard, Ace, when a goalie loses a stick like Markey did tonight, does he have to retrieve it or can a teammate hand it to him? I can't remember what the deal is with that. No, someone could hand it to him. Someone could kick it to him. Someone could pick it. I think someone could pick it up. Actually, I don't know if they could hold two sticks simultaneously. I thought they could, but I could be wrong. They might have to like kick it to him. That's a good question. I forget, actually. You don't see it too often. Let me see. Yeah, they can. They can pick it up, but once they go to pick it up, they have to immediately get the stick to the goalie, and they can't really play the puck. Very rare instance. Ash, hey, I missed the game. Heard it went well. How did we look? We looked amazing. Heavier, edgier, more violent. Fisticuffs, Johnny Kovacevic, buried Foligno. We were in scrums all night. It was awesome. Devil Heaven, Nico with a hat trick. Devil Heaven 77, hell yeah, Championship Plaza be ripping. It'll be okay. Still not the same to me as the tailgating at the old arena, but it is what it is. Brandon says, Newark seems like a nice city. Are you telling me it can't handle traffic for a sports game? No, it definitely is not. It's not equipped for it at all. But it is what it is. I mean, it could be worse. Devil Heaven 7, hey, Ace, how's American whiskey? It's all right. I've only been in there a couple times. I typically go to Red's, the other bar right there more. But they're just like standard sports bar kind of things. Cosmo Ace, do you think Nico can hit 40? I mean, that'd be crazy. The odds are no. He's not. You're talking about he has to basically score a goal a game or more. We have 7 games, and he would need. Yeah, he would need to score a goal a game. I mean, that's scoring at an 82 goal pace for the last 7 games of the season. I can't say that I expect that to happen. Now, could it happen? Sure, but that'd be pretty wild. Reaper Crew Garage missed the game, but made it here. Best way to beat traffic at Prudential is ride my street bike. MacGyver could fix the Devils with the gum wrapper. Yeah, he was notorious for solving everything with random shit that he would find. Like, he would need to make a bomb, and he'd somehow do it with like, a paper clip and something else. And now the guy's making all kinds of stuff. Crazy stuff. Tasha, why is Matt constantly scratched? Not sure if I've ever seen him. He hasn't played in a while because Sheldon Keefe does not seem to like the rough stuff. He doesn't seem to be a big believer in the heavier, edgier, more violent type play and prefers to play more skilled players, I think. I thought we'd see him a little bit more often than we have. It is what it is. We might see him 1 or 2 games down the stretch, and that's going to be it. GM Russian, I hope we get to see Fleury for when Wild comes to New Jersey. I want to see him last time in New Jersey. Well, you're going to see him in warm-ups at a minimum. And he may get the start. Evan, controlled this game. Now we need to play better at home and sweep the Wild again. Could be the boost we need towards a playoff spot and confidence we need. Would love to see it. Would love to see it. Chico, this is where the Devils can win back a lot of believers. I think 7 games left, 6 at home. Lots of rest between most of them. Show us the same fight you did tonight every game. Show us you want it. Yeah, it'd be nice. And they should have a pretty good record if they play like this for the last 7 games. Something to the tune of like 5-2, I think. Oh, Holik had a wooden stick still then? I could see it. He was definitely a late one, too. Jeter Toker, I have a J. Pandolfo Sherwood wooden stick. I got it signed outside Cody after practice. Nice. Brandon, what do you think was the Devils' recipe of success in the early 90s? It started a long run of relevancy, draft, home ice, strong farm system. What was it exactly? It was that we had a great GM that knew how to build a winning hockey club. His name was Lou Lamoriello, the architect of all 3 teams. And you could say it's a combination of a bunch of things, but the number one thing I would say is that Lou Lamoriello constantly had his finger on the pulse of his teams and knew or felt what they needed to win every season and tried to tweak the roster in that fashion. But, the 3 biggest things I would say to point to the Devils' success, honestly, was, making the trade for the pick to pick Niedermeyer, drafting the great Martin Brodeur, obviously, and then demanding Scott Stevens as compensation for the tampering case from St. Louis with the whole Shanahan thing. I would say those are the three big events that really led to everything, because those players are just all-time greats and were the backbone nucleus of the team. Marty Brodeur, Scott Stevens, Scott Niedermeyer. I mean, it's a shame we didn't win more cups with the three of them, to be honest, but I'm happy with the three. Definitely can't throw the stick to him. Remember a couple years ago when a Devils player threw a stick to another player and he got called? Yeah, you can't throw it. You can hand it. Brandon Lewis, to me, it was strong coaching and proper drafting, then development. But key was a goalie out with Brodeur, Scott Niedermeyer, Stevens in the left wing lock. Yeah, those are three all-time greats. Michael S., great win tonight. See you at Monday's pregame. Night all. Good night. Evan, we were physical. I loved when we won the fights tonight, talking smack. I was like, hell yeah. Very nice. Devil Heaven 77 says, once we clinch Big Mac a couple games in, I would love to see it. Greg, Holik played with a wooden stick when he came back to the Devils in 2008. So maybe he is one of the last ones. At that point, composites had been out forever. Chico, before the 04-05 lockout, Lou was the best GM of all time. There's no contest. He did more with less than any other dynasty in hockey history in terms of off-ice resources. M Sharp, excellent way to distract you in the hospital, Lori. Watch the game. Who's in the hospital? I'm missing. There's just too many comments. Jeter, they should have had another cup from post-lockout season to 11-12. A lot of good teams. Yeah, that 05-06 team definitely comes to mind. I think the 08-09 team was pretty good. It is a shame. LJ, imagine getting slashed by Bobby Holik with that 12-pound wooden stick. No, I couldn't imagine getting slashed by Bobby Holik with anything. That guy is a beast. Robbie Ftork bench throw. That was an awesome one. Chico, it's not to disparage the late, great John McMullen, of course, but he didn't have the pockets these modern NHL owners do. Yeah, there's no comparison. Money was different back then, and now it's just like, everything's insanity. Johnny K, people forget that Albany won a championship and the big club was winning them too. So much talent stocked up, ready to plug them in, next man up. Yeah, the Albany River Rats were pretty loaded, and a lot of notable Devils spent some time there over the years. Eliash, Madden, Breland, Sikora. I think Pando may have played there a little bit. What does Scott Stevens do now? I'm pretty sure he just chills and enjoys his life. Dire Straits, Vittoric throwing the bench after Pandolfo was bleeding profusely, and that game was epic. I love that moment. So crazy. I talked to Pandolfo about it in the interview. The Pandolfo interview will be coming out probably the next week or so. I got to finish up editing that, which is also a pain in the ass. But I definitely talked to him about that for sure. Yeah, part 3 of Cam Jansen is coming out tomorrow. It's tomorrow. I'm like losing track of days. Tomorrow at 5 p.m. is the premiere of the Cam Jansen part 3 interview. If you haven't seen part 1, I just put the link. I just put the link there to part 3. That premieres tomorrow, so bookmark that or put a reminder. And I will put the link here for the first 2. Along with this, actually, is going to be a link to the interview playlist that has the first 2 parts on there, as well as some other interviews. First synthetic stick I played with was Easton Aluminum, the silver one, the old school Gretzky. Chico, a couple things go differently. This Devils team could have had 6 cups conceivably. Yeah, 2012, 2001, and 1994 for sure. They're so close to all those other ones. Oh, you're counting 06, 01. Yeah, it's just crazy. 01 definitely, but yeah, it's crazy. Devil Heaven says Albany 95 saw a lot of games at Pepsi Arena. I never got to see a River Rats game there. I always wanted to. I actually went to a WWF Raw there years ago. Devil Dog, winning 1 cup is hard. 3 cups out of 5 appearances is amazing. The idiot Flyers have lost their last 6 cup finals appearances. To put it in perspective, that's painful. Painful. Go Bora, I'm hyped for the upcoming New York Ranger game. Are we going to see line brawl too? Also, if yes, who you got on the ice for the line brawl? I don't think it's going to happen, but I would love to see it. But obviously, it starts with McDermott, Dillon, Kovacevic, and then probably by process of elimination, the final two should probably be Nason and Cotter, I would think. Yeah, I would go Nason and Cotter. Devil have a 95 Calder Cup, Devil Stanley Cup, 95 Cup combo, also lockout season. Yeah, to be the best in the AHL and the NHL in the same season is pretty sweet. Someone joked about this the other day. Imagine Torts to the Rangers again. I can't see it, but who knows? I mean, anything's possible, but I don't think it's likely. Maybe he just calls it quits. I'm sure his ass has a shitload of money, I would imagine. Guy's been coaching in the league forever. Vic, have a good night. Go Borough. New York Ranger game is going to be game of the season because we could seriously damage the Rangers' chances. For sure. Chico, if Pat Burns is healthy, I really believe the Devils get another ring in 06. It can't be overstated what the game lost when he got sick. Still pissing me off that it happened. Rest in peace. It's crazy they didn't put him in the Hall of Fame until he died. It's another travesty by the sport of hockey. Devil Heaven said Torch should retire. Someone, Washington could repeat what the Devils did in 08-09 with a record chase being the peak and then losing in round one, but they probably won't. Obviously a reference to the all-time wins record pursuit by the great Martin Brodeur, which he did set on March 17th, 2009 against the Chicago Blackhawks with a monster victory at the Rock for his 552nd win. What a sick night. I was there. One of the greatest, probably the greatest regular season game I've ever been to. I don't think it's, you can't really compare anything else in terms of regular season games to that. Seeing the longtime goalie become the winningest goalie in NHL history is pretty crazy. I'm trying to see what else happened on the out-of-town scoreboard tonight. Rangers and Sharks. Rangers and Sharks. Flyers beat the Sabres. Blues beat the Avs. Knights over Preds. Wait, but what the hell? There was something specifically I wanted to see, and now I can't remember what it was. That's what it was. Caps and Sabres tomorrow. It's going to be close for Ovi. He might not get it. It's going to be interesting. Go Borough. You know what? If Keefe doesn't like McDermott on the ice, I'd be very down for Dillon versus Rempe. I think Dillon could get him. I mean, that'd be a good one. Rempe's not a great fighter. He's just big. He's very big, but Dillon could potentially take him. Torts, go play golf before you have a stroke. Go Borough. Love Dillon. He's become my favorite Devil. Heavier, edgier, more violent guy. Throwback. Absolute throwback. One of my favorites for sure. Tosh, Ace, I know it's a long shot, but do you think it's possible Brodeur becomes a coach? No chance. The only thing he could potentially be one day is the GM. And I don't even know if he wants it because there's a lot of time, a lot of traveling, a lot of responsibility. Marty just might not ever want to do that. But I don't think he'll ever be a coach. Chico, disgraceful by the Hall. Whatever personal disputes they had with him, the man was one of the best coaches in modern hockey, and he was dying. Put it aside and let the man see it before he rests. Yeah, terrible. It is a shame. I think they may have put him in the first year, or it may have been the first induction after he died, if I'm not mistaken. LJ Ace, what's the most goals you're in attendance to see the Devils score? What season? Let me see. I think it was. Now I can't find it. I got to use the Google. I can't find it. I want to say it was like 8. I think it was 8, and it was a while ago. It was at the old arena, but I can't find the specific game. Or was it the next season? Maybe in the next season. Let's see. I thought I saw 8 one night. Chico says, I think Barty has no interest in coaching. I think you're correct. Chico, Pat Burns passed in 2010 and wasn't led into the hall until 2014. Disgraceful, embarrassing to the sport, and petty is all held by whoever's making the decisions. Yeah, they're terrible. I thought it was sooner than that, but still 4 years. I mean, he was eligible for quite some time, I thought, before that. Alex at 6'3 Devils. Was it that game against the Kings at CAA? I can't remember. I've definitely seen... Yeah, I'm not sure, actually. I know for a fact I've seen 6. I could have sworn I've seen 7 or 8. OJ said, Marty should not GM. No offense. Look at Steve Eisman. I'd rather not go through that. I mean, if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. Can't be worse than what we got now. Doug, Devils also won 8-4 against the Canes in Game 3, 2023. If you're counting playoffs, that would be tied for it. I was at that game. How could I forget that one? I was at that game. Game 3 of the Canes. That was a great game. And then we made the fatal mistake of starting Vanacek in Game 4. Horrible mistake. It should have been Akira Schmid, hands down. But instead we started Vanacek. He got shelled, and that was all she wrote. Chico, I mean, even if he wasn't eligible, they've waived the waiting period before. They definitely could have waived it for him once it became clear he didn't have much longer left. Oh, for sure. Samuel saw them score 9 and 93 or 4 against the Bolts. That's 9's crazy. Traveling Devils, I was thinking during the game about the Broad Street Bully team and how heavier, edgier, more violent kind of tries to replicate that style of hockey and isn't allowed in today's game. Today's game is just a shell. It's just a shell of what the old game was. It's just the reality. The old game was just so much better. John, Ace, in today's age of hockey, you think the Devils can pull off the famous Lemaire trap? If you had the right players, I suppose you could, but I think it'd be a little bit harder. Players now are a lot better. They're faster. I think you would have some challenges. If you had the right guys, I think you could try it. But there's just so many more complex kind of things that guys can do now. Go Boro. Florida has brung heavier, edgier, more violent style, and it got them from being a regular season wonder playoff flop to Stanley Cup finalists. Yeah. They were Eastern Conference champions one year. They lost in the Cup finals, and then they went back and won it. Max, this feels like the type of game if we are going to wake up and play that physical game of hockey for the rest of the year. Minnesota poked the bear. We gave them physicality. Please continue it. Would love to see it. Is Chico in the ring yet? No. The only people in the Ring of Honor as of right now is Dr. John McMullen, Sergey Brelin, and Jacques Lemaire. How did we lose to San Jose? Because we play down to bad teams all the time. Paulie Walnuts, the Devils beat the Flyers 7-0 back in February 2023. That was the 20-year anniversary of the 2003 Stanley Cup championship team. I was there, and I'm assuming that Ace was there too. That is correct. I was also there. So 7 goals. That was 7, but yeah, the last one, there was an 8-goal barrage in Game 3 of the playoffs. Pat, not the most goals. I did see Eddie Lack's 48 save game in Tampa. Sick. Doug, regular season that same year I went to the 20th anniversary. Yeah. Dusted Flyers 7-0. That was a great game. Even got a commemorative ring. That was a cool piece. Max, Paul was at the game and called pregame a 7-0 victory. That's a bold score to call. What's up, Walt? Just popping in to say we needed this win. I really needed the good vibes personally, and let's go Devils. Let's go Devils. What a night, Walt. Chico, the Panthers are heavy, but they're also insanely skilled and have one of the best goalies in the NHL behind them, and they still got pushed to a Game 7 by the Oilers. For sure, but they got a lot of mileage on them now. They've played a lot of hockey over these past 2 years. It's going to be interesting to see how they respond. Would be very interested to see how they respond. John, the 7-0 Flyers SmackDown. Yeah, beautiful beating. Ace, who's your captain pick for Team USA in the Olympics next year? I'm feeling Brady or Austin again. I think it'll definitely be Austin Matthews. I can't argue it. I think it'll be him. If it was up to me, I'd probably give it to Austin Matthews, and I'd put the A's on the Kachuk boys. What a beastly trio. John Fay, if only they're capable of playing that kind of hockey again. I certainly hope so. Chico, the best game I've ever been still has to be when Marty broke or tied the wins record versus Chicago the same night Elias broke the franchise points record. Shame on you, Chico. How do you not know? He broke the record that night. 552. Record was broken. Breaking Patrick Waugh's record of 551, which Marty tied in Montreal, of all places, in the previous game. Tied 551 in Montreal, comes home, breaks it against Chicago. Amazing. Patty comes out with the St. Patrick's hat, and the rest is history. Jack made one of the prettiest passes I've ever seen live, where he spinorama passed it to Bratt for the easy cross crease tap in. I think I have that goal puck. I'd have to check. I think that's the one I have, because I remember thinking it was a sweet play too, and I was at the game, so I think I got that goal puck. I have to check on that. It was a crazy play. Evan, I had a great feeling about this one. Winnipeg is just a bad building for us. St. Paul is not. We play well versus certain teams. Funny how that works in sports. It's matchups. I know, but just to see the team lose 4-0 and then respond the way they did tonight, with no rest, knowing how bad they are on the second game of back-to-backs, I was certainly concerned. I was hoping for a miracle, but I was certainly more than concerned, given the fact that, again, we've been struggling and it's a back-to-back. That had nightmare written all over it. Go Burrow. A's for Brady and Austin, with Matthew getting the C. I wouldn't argue with that either. Chico, my point, Florida's to highlight how they picked up their skilled toughness, picked their spots, and got the right guys. They were patient, not panicky like Fitz. Well, Fitz is running out of time. I mean, the future has been bright for 10 years. Richard, while the neutral zone drop was devastating to get through, break another major, a key component was Marty being able to handle the puck. So if you dumped it in, Marty sent it right back, and then the rule change. Yeah. Marty was like a third defenseman, second to none in the history of goaltending in terms of puck moving, puck handling. He's ridiculous. Brandon, I'm going to go watch MacGyver. Forward to some fun videos, maybe an arena tour, outside arena tour. See your next live show. Maybe I'll put some of that in a vlog. Chico, Patrick Elias will always be my top 3 favorite Devils. It's a very good pick. Go Burrow. Hey, Ace, is there a way to look at a jersey listing and spot if an old jersey is fake? If there's one, I'm looking on eBay, but I'm unsure if it's fake or is it all risk certification. Email me the link. I'll look at it. Tasha, I feel like we don't have enough of those specific defensive defensemen to successfully pull off the trap anymore. Probably not, but it could be done with the right personnel. Johnny K, the best game I've seen was the 10-4 demolition of the Caps in the 88 playoffs. Patrick Sundstrom set the all-time playoff record with 3 goals and 5 assists for 8 points. I thought the burn might collapse. That's amazing. I've heard the stories. Paulie Walnuts, me and my cousin crashed a private party at the Rock the night of the 20th anniversary for the 2003 team. We meet Marty, Stevens, Needs, Gomez, and Eliash. After a while, we were asked to leave. That's hilarious. How long were you able to stay there? Doug, damn, how'd you get the puck? I remember it was like the 5th or 6th goal of the game, and I went to take a piss and stood by the steps with an attendant, and both of our jaws dropped because of Jack's play. They auctioned him off. It was wait, let me see if I could actually pull it up now to verify. I think I got 2 from that game. I think I got a NICO goal from that game too. Was there a crazy Bratt assist to NICO? Let me see. Yeah, it was a great game. I think I did get I may have gotten a NICO goal puck from that too. I could look it up in a minute. John Fay, already Ace. I'm going to head out. What a night to be a Devils fan. Hopefully they can come out and do the same thing again Monday. Yeah, hopefully. Got to do it. Richard, we've all got favorites, but Devils 1-0 win against Rangers Eastern Conference Finals in 94 is one of the best I've ever seen. Marty vs. Richter was insane. A goaltending duel for the ages. Max, Eliash needs to be in the Hall. I hope he eventually gets in. It seems like it might be a while. They just, he has 2 cups. He has, what does he have? Like 10 something points or 1100. Yeah, 1025. I mean, 1025 and 2 cups, that should get you in. But, a lot of times they want to see the individual awards and stuff like that. The home opener, that was a good one. The first 2 periods of the home opener before they collapsed. We were there probably 15, 20 minutes, long enough to meet all the guys I mentioned and a few more. It's pretty cool. How did you eventually get spotted and booted? Hope we spank the Rags next weekend. Would love to see it. All right, I'm gonna use the bathroom, my bathroom break. I'll be back in 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. Throw out any comments, questions, thoughts, suggestions, whatever you got, throw it out there in the comments. As I mentioned, if you weren't listening earlier, if you're interested in a potential live event, which would take place in New Jersey, exploring some different things, look at the pinned comment and send me an email. And I will look into that as well. But yeah, if you're interested in any sort of live event, email me look at the comment and email me. I'll be back in 2 minutes. We'll start wrapping this thing up. It's much earlier than I thought. Yeah, the game started earlier, so it kind of throws everything off. But yeah, we'll start wrapping it up when I come back. Any comments, questions, suggestions, whatever it is, throw it out there in the comments, and we will start wrapping this thing up when I come back. Oh, my legs hurt. All right, I'll be right back. Back. So I double checked. I was correct. My memory sometimes is pretty good with this stuff. I do have that goal puck, the jesperbratt goal from that Flyers game, as well as a NICO goal. And the notes, I have a spreadsheet, and the notes for the Bratt goal says Hughes filthy assist. Yeah, that's the play. So I have that puck. Yeah, that play was insane. C-Bones, what's going on? Nico was fantastic tonight. He saved the season with his Hattie. I still don't like what I see overall from this team, but you got to take what you can get. I mean, tonight was insane. An insane game for the boys. Max, Elias should be at least in the Flyers Hall of Infamy. Guy was a Flyer killer and made my days of going to school in the Philly area so much more joyful. He really was. Traveling Devil took Florida like 8 years after getting Barkov before they became a serious contender. Matt signing was the final piece. So after 10 years of retooling, rebuilding, they finally got it right. Yeah, that's the Matthew Tkachuk effect, Traveling. Insane. Doug, the goal you were looking for was Mercer to Nico. He made a quick backhand pass from the boards behind the net to Nico for the goal. Are you talking about the reunion game? That Flyer game? Sean, I remember a Ranger fan friend of mine telling me Patrick Elias was the most underrated player in the league. That was before hepatitis. After he got sick, he was never the same. He was at his peak. Yeah, peak Patty was ridiculous. Go Boro. For me, Florida's your next moment is when Bennett took out Marchand. Paul, we kept moving around, and after a while, someone noticed we didn't have the lanyard that was needed. Way to be crafty, though. Go Boro. We may have McDermott, but holy shit, we need a guy like Bennett. I like Bennett. He's going to get paid a ton. He is going to get paid a ton. Greg, when they removed the two-line pass rule, the trap became very hard to play effectively, which made the game much faster. Yeah, they didn't like that. They wanted offense. Tasha, Ace, what would you say would be the best offseason acquisition for us? We need a cup running soon. Bratt and Nico's prime won't last forever, and Fitz is just wasting them. And there's a ton, but realistically, we're not going to have a lot of cap space, I don't think. And so you got to hope we could stay healthy and find some bargain buys. Evan Bailey won another sweep of Wild a win on Monday by Monday at the Rock. Will be 2 straight seasons of sweeps versus Minnesota. Boost headed into Rags game. Yeah, it's going to be flurry out there. I would love to see the Devils take them out. Evan, definitely want to stick it to rivals, Rags and Islanders. Traveling Devils need an Olivier guy scoring goals and kicking ass, and big goals too. He had a huge goal last night. Yeah, Olivier's a beast. Olivier's a complete beast. I don't know how you don't root for that guy. He is a beast. Everybody wants a guy like that on your team. I would love Olivier. He is definitely an X factor for sure. And like you said, he kicks ass and he scores goals. And he had a big one. He had a big one last night. Very big one. Then I think eventually they tied it up. But then they ended up winning. Was it in the shootout or overtime? I forget. Stanley, got to figure Rangers will win tonight, so they'll have made up 1 point over this weekend, but there are 2 less games on the schedule. Still a great result, even with the loss yesterday. Devils got to just keep stacking, and pretty soon we're going to be in that clinch. Tasha, I honestly hope Brady has enough with Ottawa soon. I could see him signing with the Devils. Definitely huge on that heavier, edgier, more violent type of play. He would fit nicely and help us improve immensely. He's my number 1 want in the league, but I just don't see it happening anymore. The ship has sailed. Ottawa's going to be a good team now. That's all he cares about. If he was ever to leave Ottawa, I think he tries to play with his brother Matthew in Florida. I just can't see the Devils. You're out of your mind. Brady is going to be fighting Broward County track. Yeah, I think so. If he was to leave, it'll be for Florida. Joshua, maybe we could clear some cap space to get Ellers. A guy like him would be great, but where's the money come from? You're going to have to, it probably starts with buying out Palat, and you'd have to do more than that. Anything's possible. I'm curious to see how Fitz approaches this offseason. If he just does some minor, tinkering with bottom 6 guys after he, signs Lukey up, if he just does some minor stuff, or if he tries to move out some big pieces and make a big splash. Besser or Giroux would be pickups I'd like. I'd like either one of those guys. Besser, obviously much younger. But I'd take a guy. Giroux's a Grizzly vet as well. Olivier was undrafted. Yeah, what a find. What a find. Evan, Alex Tuck would be hard to get, but a great ad. I think Jared McCann. Love both of them, too. Tuck is a big body. A lot of people thought he might be available this year. I don't know why, people think Buffalo would want to get rid of him. I don't see why they wouldn't build around him, but who knows? Maybe their kind of rebuild plan is super long. I really don't know. I don't know how much more patient their fan base could be with just a shitty team. It seems like it's been eternity. I'm sure people are getting super fed up around there. I would love McCann, though, for sure. Tasha, not really much else to do other than dream with Fitz plus owners and LTIR money. I agree. Move Dougie. I can't. Jay Snow, how are they going to move Dougie when he's been hurt 2 years in a row and he's not coming back at any point this year? So you think people are going to just trade for him sight unseen, not knowing what type of level his game is at? No way. He's going to have to play a bunch of games to the Devils before someone even considers it. Paulie Walnuts, didn't Olivier kick the crap out of Rempe and give him a black eye? I believe so. Tasha, Dougie does add a decent amount of offense, though. For sure. On a team that's struggled mightily with scoring goals for chunks of the season. I told people for a while that they would miss Dougie when he's gone. You saw what happened last year when he went down. Obviously, now Luke is progressed a little bit and probably more capable of filling Dougie's role. But, you're still going to feel that void, which, it frees up a spot on the blue line. We have a lot of young kids trying to make it. Frees up a ton of cap space, so I get it all. But, yeah, Chase, no, I'm good with Luke taking over the power play. It makes sense. It makes sense. But is he going to be that dude? Now, Luke's going to be amazing. I'm curious to see when that deal gets signed and what it gets signed for. It's going to be very interesting. Very, very interesting. Devil Dog, Rempe was and still loses every fight he's in. He's not a great fighter. He just has very long arms, very long reach. It's a very tough, combination to overcome. He is just so damn tall and long. And so that alone will keep him in some fights. But against good fighters that know what they're doing, they definitely kick his ass. Olivia gave Rempe purple eyes. Evan, sitting on LTIR is just infuriating. But that's our ownership and clown of a GM. Why live how the guys are still battling with chips against us? With chips against us. It's rough. Not spending the money when you have it is painful to watch. Brandon, tonight was probably the worst goaltending I've seen in years. Thank God it was our opponent for a change. A lot of juicy rebounds, right? Gustafsson was just serving them up. Beautiful rebounds for the boys to take advantage of. Hi, kudos. Just got home from the game. Had a blast. Happy the boys won my annual Devils game. Nice. A few of you in this chat had been there. What a great game to go to. You saw a good one. You saw some fisticuffs. You saw a NICO HISCHIER hat trick. Knowles, can't believe you guys are still chatting crazy. Anyway, I have faith in Luke. He has a lot of potential. Some say he may progress to best Quinn. Who knows? I hate when people say that stuff. It's just so Quinn is so good. I'd be happy if he's anywhere near as good as him. Never mind better than him. I think it's kind of crazy. Tasha, definitely not on the trade Dougie or Hall train. Hall does a lot defensively, makes ways for others to score. For sure would trade Tatar, Bastion, and Dowling. You don't have to trade any of them because they're all on one-year deals and they're not signed for next year. So we could just let Tatar, Bastion, and Dowling all walk. Doesn't free up a ton of money, though. Be under $4 million, I believe, between the three of them. Go Boro, talking of long arms, remember the Lindros versus Danico fight? Maybe it was a draw, but you could see Danico at that fight and him love that guy. Lindros was an absolute monster. Him and Stevens had some great battles over the years, too. Just epic wars. Evan, I think Minnesota goes Fleury most likely Monday night. Markey, get this one? I would 100% put Markey right back out there. I'm not positive that they will, Depends on what the sports science math team tells Keith, but I certainly would love to see Markey back out there. I thought he played great tonight and would like to see him just continue to get those reps in leading up to the playoffs. Throw Markey right back out there. Traveling, do you think Devils are waiting for Anton to take over Dougie's spot? Salayev is so young. He's not going to be anywhere near that good that quick. Defensemen take a long time to develop, and people are getting impatient with Luke Hughes. You're seeing it with Shimo Nemitz. I mean, Salayev, I think, is 18 or 19 right now. So you're talking about he probably won't even come here for 2 more seasons. And at that point, how good – he's 18 years old. How good do you think he's going to be right away? He's not taking over for anything anytime soon. He'll be at his peak in 6 or 7 years from now. He was born in 2006. My God, things that make you feel old. Go Boro, reckon Luke could get up to around Rafalski level. I think he could probably be a little bit better than Rafalski. But I think Rafalski's super underrated, as someone mentioned last night. Even a Rafalski level defenseman is invaluable. A Rafalski level defenseman is a great piece to have on a team that has aspirations of winning a Stanley Cup for sure. But to say Quinn Hughes, Quinn Hughes is another, maybe a couple levels from that. Brandon Thomas, I actually think Markstrom has been playing fantastic lately. All the goals he's led in since his injury are pretty bullshit goals, just like tonight. He struggled some of the games, but tonight was a very good one, I thought, for him. Tasha, I might be one of the few people actually like Halla, but I stand by it. He's scoring a lot recently and does more stuff quietly, kind of underrated. I like Halla. A little bit of a vet. Has a little chippiness to him. But, yeah, his production just disappeared this year. Go Boro. Who was that guy who fought Prober on the Devils? I remember hearing about it. He was a team legend. Troy Crowder, I think. I think someone was talking about Troy Crowder. Yeah, Troy Crowder. Knowles, I agree with putting Mark back out there, but will that affect Allen in his game? At this point, I don't care about Allen in his game. It's going to be Markey in the playoffs, and so the only way we're going to have to rely on Allen is a brutal injury. At this point, I'm done with the cutesy shit. The line is in the sand. Once Keefe said it's going to be Markey's net, I'm with it. Get Markey to the best level we could get him at. I'm not concerned about Allen anymore. This is the Markstrom show now. Brian, what a win tonight, boys. Happy to see Markey playing well. Didn't see this performance coming, but hopefully we could build on this. Yeah, I don't think a lot of us saw it. What a bounce-back game. In the second game of a back-to-back, no less. Obviously, Mike Peluso, legend. Tasha, Dowling is the worst. Money or not, just going to be happy for the freed roster spot. Jay Snow Hall has been horrendous this year. Yeah, he wasn't playing, wasn't would he go like 3 months without producing a point? It's brutal. If Hall's back, he can't play center anymore. I think his center days on this team are definitely over. We saw Paul Cotter at center tonight. Select the boy, what's going on? What's up, Devils folks? And Ace Ross, happy to see the Devils get a massive win today. I hope we finish 5-2 down the stretch. That'd be amazing. That would be a very high note to be going into the playoffs on. Tasha, he's a winger, 100% plays better that way. Go Boro, need Markey to stamp his foot back in. Allen's got to know his role now, but keep the pressure on Markey to keep it up. Yeah, they got to get Markey to as good as possible right now. That's who they're going to ride in the playoffs, and so I'm not too worried about, forcing Jake Allen starts anymore. Evan, Adrian Kempe, another guy, 1 year left on his contract. Hard to get someone like this for sure. I'm a huge fan of this guy as well. One of my favorites, Tuck McCann. So many guys out there, tons. Who could we afford? Is going to be the question. Devils, Markstrom is probably so happy right now. You got to get Markstrom to play a bunch of games to the playoffs so he's ready. I agree. Just get Markey in the groove. I would play him most of the games down the stretch. 7 games left, I would play him in at least 5 of them. I hope they don't do analysis paralysis where they're like, we need to rest Markstrom this many days. Like, goalies are rhythm creatures. And I've complained about that all season. Even when Markey was playing good, there was just like what I would call forced Jake Allen starts, just like thrown in there. And I'm like, I don't like Markey sitting all that time in between games. There's no need for it. Select the boy Nico, second Hattie of the season. It's a beautiful one. Knowles, love Markey, agreed. Sorry to hit a nerve with the Luke and Quinn comment. It's not a nerd. Since we won't have Siegs or Hamilton, who can we depend on? Nemitz? Where's Casey? They prefer Nemitz at the moment. I like Seamus Casey. Curious to see when he finally gets his chance to be an everyday player. But, I mean, it should be soon. He spent pretty much all year this year in Utica. I don't think he's going to want to do that again next year, but he might not have a choice. It all depends on, if everyone's back. And I think they will be. So it's a little bit of a crowded path for him to break into the Devils lineup with Siegenthaler and Dougie returning from injury. Yeah. No easy way. How sweet would it be to see another Rags meltdown in Cali tonight like in Anaheim last night? What's the score there? Oh, they're up 2-0 at the intermission. They're not going to melt down 2 nights in a row. Tasha saw old Mark again tonight. That was fantastic. He's heating up, can save insane goals. He's heating up, and I don't know what 8M is. Feeling a vintage Markey entering the playoffs. I hope so, because we are going to need him big time. The Devils could only go as far as Markstrom can drag them, and he's going to have to play big. Huge. What am I looking for here? What a win. Anyone got anything else before I get out of here? The earlier game is I do like 6 o'clock games could be something. 6 o'clock Eastern time anyway. I feel like I've been on here forever. Does Panarin have 2 tonight? Yes, he does. 32 and 33. Wow. And Nico got his 33rd. That's crazy. Johnny K. Fitz screwed up the paperwork and can't send Nemitz down. Casey is stuck down there. They can't do a swap. Yeah, I hate I can't follow all the rules of that shit about sending guys up and down. But I knew for a while that Nemitz couldn't go down. So, I mean, that's fine. He could stay practicing with the team and just sit in the player suite on games he doesn't play. Devil Dog, thanks, Ace. Good night. Good night to you. Evan, Ace recommendation for sure would be if you could get to game in Minnesota. Great spot. Fun. I've never been to Minnesota. Tasha needs to play tomorrow, though. It's all about experience for a goalie coming off injury. And if he plays tomorrow, I think the consistency will rise. You just can't put out the flame where it's just heating. Heating. It's in the comment at the top. It should be pinned to the top. It's runninwiththedevils@gmail.com. All right, folks, that's it. Your New Jersey Devils bounce back from that ugly loss in Winnipeg, going into Minnesota and taking care of business, beating the Wild by a score of 5-2 in a heavier, edgier, more violent contest, which saw the Devils respond in a big way. The captain, NICO HISCHIER, with a beautiful hat trick. Jacobmarkstrom with his best game since returning from injury, and you just love to see it all. Exciting stuff. Cam Jansen interview. Part 3. I'll just put the link to all of them here, the interview page. Check link in the chat for all the interview. You'll see the Cam part 1 and 2 as well as a couple other guys. But part 3 will premiere tomorrow at 5 o'clock. What else is interesting? If you have Pasha from Spit and Chicklets, the conversation with him is on there. That same link as well. If you were well, I guess you don't have. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to stop saying that actually because it doesn't matter where you live. If you are interested in potentially attending a live actual real life event that would take place in New Jersey, look at the pinned comment and shoot me an email. I'm trying to gauge interest. Trying to gauge interest and figure that all out. And so we'll see. No promises, no guarantees, but I'm just trying to kind of get a gauge if, I can make sense of something that makes sense. But shoot me an email if you're interested in that. I'll be back soon. What a game. What a night. The captain. NICO gets a Hattie, his second of the season. And that's it, guys. What a win. I'll be back soon. I'm not sure if I'm going to do probably no pregame for Monday, but obviously there'll be a postgame. And that's it. That is it. Thank you all for watching. I love you all. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.